Well, welcome everyone to today's episode of TMI Advice You Didn't Want. It took a little bit for us to get here, but we finally got here. We've had a lot of technical difficulties, and this is just part of the process. So, what we're going to be talking about today is there's been a lot of like astrological stuff happening. I mean, we just had our solar eclipse on Monday, and that was kind of huge. And I probably like we're going to dive into a little bit around this too, so I'm not going to give away too much, but it's been an interesting time period to be alive, let's just say that. So in case we haven't met, I am Karen. I'm one of the co-hosts here.
And my name is Ashley, and I don't follow astrology too much. I do a little bit more than yourself, but usually I just message my friend who's like really, really into it. And I was pretty confident that we had hit Mercury retrograde
Hmm.
already,
We
and
have.
we have. So technology problems come with Mercury retrograde. So that I was quickly looking it up while you were doing the intro there. So yeah, we're in Mercury retrograde right now, which is fun, and it ends on April 25th.
Hmm.
So, don't sign any contracts, is what they say, and don't depend too much on technology and all of the works. And then in my head right now, I was quickly going over. I'm like, okay, good. We're out of court by the time Mercury retrograde is done.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm in court next week with my friend, and Mercury retrograde won't be done for her. So, but yeah, I think the big disclaimer that I know you're about to say is that we are more powerful, so we don't have to shut everything down.
Mm-mm.
But it is, to me, what I like knowing is like, okay, like when my Facebook won't work, my Zoom won't work, my Voxer won't work, and it's all like tripping out all at the same time. And it's Mercury retrograde, I can laugh at it a little bit easier. Like it's like, okay, this kind of comes with this territory right now, and it just, to me, it makes sense instead of being as frustrated as I could be too. So
Yeah, yeah. So, and you kind of already covered this for me, but like, um, I look at astrology with a grain of salt, right? Because we are just way more fucking powerful than a planet that's in retrograde or a moon that's in front of the sun or all of the things that could be happening. Yes, I'm going to talk about how these things can affect us if we let them. Like that's the really important thing for all of this. Like I do think that there's something to be said in astrology and like say like if you're a Scorpio like me or my friend's a Taurus or Ashley you're a Pisces, like there's something to be said for where we come in, where how the stars are aligned, what's the energy, what's the frequency, but it doesn't mean that this is how you have to live your life. Like that's one of the things that um I feel like is really important to remember. Like these things can have an effect on us and they tend to. But one thing that when we give our power away to something like the planets and how they're aligned and what's going on in the frequency of the world and all of that, we've literally just we've given our power away and we've forgotten how we are actually creators, how
yeah,
we can actually influence those things. And in order to kind of like beat this topic home, I'm going to talk about one thing that Dr. Joe Dispenza does is he does this every so often. April 21st, I believe he's doing another one, but we do a walking meditation as a community. It's called Walk for the World, right? So we're literally meditating. There's a huge group of us across the entire world. This isn't just like small communities. This is people across the entire world that follow Dr. Joe, that like what he has to say. And he's created this meditation called Walk for the World. And we do it at a certain time whenever it's decided, hey, this is when we're going to do it. And what's interesting is when we do that, this we've only done it a few times, but for it to keep repeating like this is really interesting. every time we do a walk for the world, the Schumann resonance, which is the frequency of the planet, basically, it does something weird that it doesn't normally do. Like there's definitely a spike in energy. Each time we've done this, there's been a spike in energy. So that all that to say, we are way more powerful than the creation. Okay?
Mhm.
So like the physical reality that we see, that's the creation, right? Like the planets, the moon, the sun, all of that, that's the creation. But if we give our power away to it and say, oh, well, when the sun is aligned this way, or Mercury's in retrograde, or this person comes in at this frequency, we give our power away when we forget
Mhm.
that we are actually the creators. We're actually part of what it's doing. Like we're actually creating what's going on. And I feel like that so beautifully illustrates that, just talking about what happens to the Schumann resonance when we do that walking meditation, and how big it can be when people have had like Peace Corps or different groups that come together and have like this loving, powerful experience that actually changes the frequency of the world. There's something to be looked at with that and how powerful we are, especially when we band together.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's like my big caveat with all of this. Like, yeah, the solar eclipse happened. And yeah, do I think that there's some weird stuff happening as a result? Yeah, I can see that around me, but I don't have to partake. I don't have to be a part of it. So that's the interesting thing, in my opinion, with all of this astrology stuff and how frequencies align when it comes to lunar, solar, Mercury retrograde, all the things. So
Yeah, I think that like my perspective is slightly different in the sense of like, yes, we're more powerful, but it also it's happening. So utilize it. Like for me, it's I like the awareness of it. So I know, okay, if I'm having a harder day with technology, like it makes sense, or if I'm struggling more with like trauma triggers, like it makes sense because of this. I like having that awareness. But like the whole analogy, or I don't even know if it's a real analogy, but the whole idea is like our body is consumed with like salt and water, like our
mhm,
tears, like our skin, we sweat is salty water. And if the moon and the sun control the ocean, like we have to think that it's doing something to us. And so, does that have to be a negative thing?
mhm,
No, it doesn't. So, like, yes, there's the whole if you experienced over this last weekend leading up to April 8th and then trickling off into this week, significant trauma triggers and just feeling like you didn't want to do anything or be around people, like, yeah, that was the solar eclipse energy. Like it was bringing up those traumas and so I was a mess, like just with emotions, especially with my grandma just passing away. Like I had so many things surfacing, and like I'm just gonna lay in my bed. Like whenever they start coming, I just let myself do my thing and move away from people. And I was listening to a different video, and they're like, "Oh, just take a bath. Just try not to leave your house if you can. Like just like completely allow yourself to feel the things and heal and release." And that's like the benefit of the like solar eclipse is no matter who you are and how much work you've done, there's trauma in your body. So
mhm.
utilize the solar eclipse to bring that out and heal to a whole nother level, a higher frequency, a higher level of bliss. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. I just gave myself a shit ton of grace around all
Yeah.
of those feelings. And then the funny thing was at the same time, so Derek, my partner, will pick me up from time to time, quite frequently actually. And he picked me up and he's like, oh, that kind of, I felt it a little bit in my back. And then nothing came of it at all for like 5 days. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh man, my back's really hurting. I can't move. And he was limping. And this is 5 days later after picking me up, because he picked me up and actually like carried me quite a distance. And It happened around the Thursday, Friday leading up to the solar eclipse. And then I'm feeling all my traumas and I'm researching the solar eclipse to see like what's going on and all of that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, his back's not hurting from carrying me. He hasn't dealt with that trauma in his back yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told him, I'm like, yeah, and like, because he had surgery on his back in that spot when he was 18, 19. And so that's a huge trauma zone for him. So much, like he carries so much childhood trauma and probably historical, generational trauma there that he had to have surgery at a teenager age. And so I was like, no, your body's telling you that that's where you need to pay attention
Mm-hmm.
and you need to heal that shit and move to your next level. And he's like, oh, okay, maybe, but maybe it's just from me carrying you too. I'm like, sure, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And sure enough, today, like yesterday, he had a little bit of pain, and today it's gone. And like that's right around the same time for my stuff that I was feeling with the solar energy too, or
Mm-hmm.
the solar eclipse energy. And it's just amusing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it shows up, and so use it. I'm all about full moon rituals, new moon rituals, drinking moon water. I think there's so much power in water and all of that kind of stuff, so utilize it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, know that you're more powerful.
Absolutely.
So yes, you're going to use this aid just like you do with like using meditation, but you don't need it.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to utilize this moon water, but I don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much stuff, and I've um done research on water a lot. I don't know if you've ever seen those like water crystal things.
I have. Yeah, you showed me yours. Yeah.
Yeah, and oh no, no, no. Yeah, that one's cool too. So like when you like speak at water and you look at it at a microscopic level, have you seen the
Oh,
image?
yes, I have. Yeah.
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 So like how beautiful
Patterns.
beautiful is and
Yep.
how like gross and ugly is. And like when you bully water, it looks bad. And
Mm-hmm.
when you praise water, it looks good. And so you can actually like Google, there's a book on it, and you can Google, I think it's called The Life of Water. And you can look up all these different words that they were said to the water and then looked at them and took a picture at like a with a microscope. Um, Microscope, that's not right. Is it right? Why does that sound weird?
Microscope. You got it. Yeah. The water under a microscope. That's normal. You got this.
Oh my gosh. No.
Words are hard.
And
It's okay. This is just part of the process.
oh boy. So yes. So it's
Ashley's
really
having a
cool.
stroke right now, just in case
Yeah.
anyone was wondering.
And it's the same idea with like you praise a plant or you praise a orange and then you do the other
Yeah.
opposite. And I believe it is the water component to all of it. It just has a very interesting like vibrational, beautiful healing frequency. And our that is our
Our
bodies.
body. Hmm.
And the astrology stuff all affects all of the waters,
Hmm.
and we are water. And so I like paying attention to it, not as a like, oh, I can't use technology today because it's
Yeah.
Mercury
I think
retrograde
a
or
lot of people do that though, and that's the
totally
thing that I
do.
want to like
Yeah.
don't do that. Stop it. Like it's okay to go, okay, this thing isn't working. I'm going to laugh about it and just go, well, it is what it is. Instead of
Yeah.
going, oh, it's friggin' Mercury retrograde. I shouldn't do anything. I should stay under my covers and not do
To
anything.
be completely honest though with you, if I had to sign like a separation agreement, like court document, I probably would be like, I'm gonna like wait 2 weeks. Like I like buying a house or like whatever, like probably will wait till I'm not in Mercury retrograde. It's only a like 2, 3 week
Hey,
window.
that's fair. That's fair.
But
You're
yeah,
allowed.
when it comes to like I joined a company, I got a contract, like I've done lots of that kind of stuff. Or like when I did like high ticket sales, like I'd have lots of big contracts coming through during Mercury retrograde, but they usually were a harder sell during Mercury retrograde because naturally we just had that like I don't want to sign a contract and pay tens of thousands of dollars for that.
Hmm.
So it was more challenging for sure. It's funny. I did track it, and everyone's sales would drop during Mercury retrogrades,
Yeah.
and definitely wasn't in a niche that even was aware that it was a Mercury retrograde niche.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay. So here's my thoughts with it too, because there's so much that you brought up there, and hopefully
Mhm.
I can remember all the things that I wanted to talk about. But um, absolutely use things to your advantage. Like, for example, this is nothing to do with astrology, but like, you take care of your body by using supplements. Do you need it?
Yeah.
No. You take care of your body by eating the right things. Do you need it? No, because you are more powerful than these things. But
Yeah.
supporting yourself through
Yeah.
these things, absolutely. And I look at astrology the exact same way. You talk about how the moon affects the ocean, the whole thing. Like, absolutely. You can't deny that these things can, and I'm going to say can because I want to talk about like a little bit more in depth, absolutely can have an effect on you. And a lot of times I see this I see this in my life, I see this in other people's lives when we're not focused on creating, and I'm going to explain what coherence is. When we're not focused on creating coherence in our brain, our body, and our nervous system, things outside of us have a higher tendency of not controlling us, but affecting us. That's probably the
For
best
sure.
word.
Yeah.
So, to explain what coherence is like, think about you talked about like the water and like speaking beautiful things to the water. A lot of times when you do that, you're creating a pattern in the water, right? And a lot of times if you're speaking beautiful, blissful, wonderful things to water, it's going to create this very solid pattern, right?
Hmm.
It's going to be a more coherent pattern. Something
Yeah.
that's incoherent, think about a line that's coherent. Like, it's going to be like a waveform, right? A
Mhm.
waveform that's coherent is going to be a beautiful, like, very like symmetrical kind of thing. It's coherent, right? Something that's incoherent is going to be kind of jagged, like it's all over the place. Like, it still has a pattern, but it doesn't have as solid of a pattern. That's probably the best way that I could describe it, right? So, like, your coherence in your body is like having your brain and your heart talking to each other.
Yeah.
And they're talking to each other in this beautiful melody back and forth to each other. Whereas a lot of us go through our life and we're like, oh my God, I have to do this. Oh, this is the next thing that's going on in my day. Oh, I have to take the kids here. Oh, my dog is doing this. You are very incoherent. Your brain and your heart are not speaking to each other. And when you're doing this and your attention is divided, you're not in the present moment, you are more likely to be affected by your outside environment instead of you being the effect that happens in your outside of environment. So for me, when I see a lot of stuff happening around me that I'm like, ooh, that's kind of like something like that's not really what I wanted to create. I have to go back to myself and I have to ask myself, where's the incoherence? What am
Yeah.
I feeling? What am I thinking? What am I experiencing? And how can I continue to create coherence throughout my day? The
Hmm.
simplest thing that you can do when you notice that you're not coherent, that you're maybe feeling scattered, you're feeling all over the place, simply just breathing is really one of the best things that you can do for yourself. So, this simple action of, and this is something that was done by the Heart Math Institute, okay? So this isn't coming from me. This is like a research project that was done by Heart Math Institute, and they're really into heart brain coherence, okay? So if you've never heard of them before, look them up. Super interesting what they're doing over there. But what they discovered is just by the simple action of breathing in for 5 seconds and then breathing out for 5 seconds actually resets your heart brain coherence. Okay. So do that for a minute, 2 minutes, breathing in for 5 seconds, breathe out for 5 seconds. You're going to start to get your heart and brain back into coherence. And the thing is that I see with myself and with other people, this isn't always easy to do, especially if you're in the middle of something and you're like, oh, but I just got to get this done. I know this is the thought process that gets me stuck a lot when I'm like, oh, but I just need to do XYZ and then I'll do the breathing thing. And then by the time XYZ is done, you forgot to go back to do the breathing thing instead of pausing yourself and going, wait a minute, I need to get back into a more coherent state. Because think about it, if your brain is incoherent, you're probably going to have a hard time thinking what you want to be thinking and not in that fight or flight state, right? So for me, I know when I'm starting to see things like something weird's happening outside of me, wait a minute, what's going on inside of me? Like that to me is like I gotta go back to me. What's going on inside? And this is not easy, okay? Like this is definitely a process that I still work through all the time. But I look at things like the solar eclipse, and yes, absolutely. Do I think that it's made me a little bit more tired? Yes, because it does have an effect on me. However, I can also look at that and go, wait a minute, I need to look back at myself too and ask, what are some of the thoughts that I've been thinking? What are some of the traumas? You talk about like this bringing up traumas and things that we need to release. Absolutely. Like, what are some of the things that you can let go of? That was something that I saw on my Facebook, but from somebody that is one of my friends. She was talking about like this solar eclipse is bringing up all kinds of traumas.
Yeah.
What can you let go of? And it was like, that was such a great reminder. I'm like, thanks, self, for creating that Facebook post from that friend to be shown to me at that time. Cause it was like, yeah, I was in that moment dealing with a trauma of, I don't have enough time. And it's like, wait a minute, why am I thinking that I don't have enough time? I have all the time in the world. I like literally like I can create what I want, but I get stuck in this thought process of, oh, I don't have enough time. And so it like bringing that trauma to surface is what happened for me. It was like, ooh, this I need to keep working on because I am still not quite getting this. And it's beautiful what can happen when you actually look at your surroundings as more of a confirmation of what's going on inside of you instead of, oh shit, this just happened to me. It can be more of a, wait a minute, what is it that I am missing? Like, what is it that I need to continue to work on? What are the thoughts that are keeping me stuck, that are keeping me creating situations that make me feel like XYZ? So it's interesting when you look at your life through that lens, because then you're no longer the victim to Mercury retrograde or the solar eclipse or whatever. You're no longer the victim, but you now just start to notice what's happening around you. And then you ask yourself, wait, what's missing? What am I missing in my thoughts and my feelings that may be influencing what's happening outside of me?
Yeah. Well, I think that's the important thing too, is just like noticing and like, there's times where you might be able to handle something and there's times where you might not be. And sometimes you can be like, oh, this sucks. Like I'm mad at myself and your self-talk isn't great. But that's where I find astrology so helpful because it's like, no, like I had a lot of traumas coming up and it was weird. And I could be like, oh, I thought you were over this and whatever else, like to yourself. And it's like, no, it's the solar eclipse. It's bringing up new layers and that's cool. And I don't feel like being around people and that's cool.
That's okay.
And normally I don't lay in my bed, especially when my kids are here. Like that's not a normal thing. And after supper, instead of like hanging out with them, I went and laid in my bed. And Derek was like, "What's going on?" And like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yep, I just felt like being here." And sure enough, they all came in within like 5 minutes because they're so like
I'm
Like
gonna hang out with you.
so clingy. And so yeah, that's what we ended up watching like funny prank videos kind of thing. Because I didn't want to do anything and they were pretty content with it as well. But yeah, they're definitely clingers right now. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the energy, but holy cow, like they're when I work at their school and I do stuff with them, like they're always excited to see me and like give me a hug when we switch and all that kind of stuff, and like be sad and hug when they leave. But it's been like a whole nother level. Like I've been texting Derek and being like, "Holy cow! Like I've never had them this clingy before,
Mm,
and not just one, you know." So
yeah.
I'm sure that energy plays in a part as
I'm
well.
sure. Yeah. And the thing is that kids are very connected to that energy because I feel like they've been on this planet for less time, so they're I feel like less mm, they don't try to like explain it away like we do as an adults, right? Like
Yeah.
I've stopped explaining things away. Like when I see something with my eyes, it used to be that I would explain it away and be like, "Oh, I just made that up." And it's like, "No, actually, I'm pretty sure I saw an energy something come off of that person." And
Hmm.
I start to actually notice that kind of thing too. So, but like
Yeah.
kids, I think are just really like they're less immune because they haven't had all these years where they've tried to talk themselves down from it. So, absolutely. Like you can see kids experience stuff differently than adults too. And
Yeah.
okay, so this is something that's fun to talk about too with astrology. So, one thing that inevitably happens at the hospital every time there's a full moon, people get weird. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. People get weird. They get weird as far as like on a conscious level, like things will be said that you're like, I think that was weird that they said that, or on a subconscious level, something weird will happen while they're under anesthesia, which is
Mhm.
like I can't tell you how many times if somebody's like, "Oh, it's a full moon," I'm like, "Ah, damn it, I have to work today. Maybe I should just go back home." Because
Yeah.
and it's like if even if you're the most non woo woo person, when
Yeah.
somebody says it's a full moon, everybody's like, "Uh-oh, what's going to happen today?" And
Yeah.
so, one of the things that I want to like point to with that also is as a collective of people, how that thought that there's a full moon, how that could influence what actually is created during that day also, because now everybody's on edge and going, "Oh no, when's the shoe gonna drop?" And
Yeah.
how that can sometimes also compound into the
Yeah.
situation as well. So
Yeah.
there's like so much that goes into it. Like um that's the reason that I'm saying like when stuff happens, like stop going, "Oh no, what's going to happen today?" Like like just laugh about it. Like you said, Ashley, like laugh about it if your computer isn't working or something crazy's happening with technology. "Oh, it's just Mercury retrograde," and just laugh about it. Like stop taking it so seriously because the moment you do, you start to give your power away to that thing and can potentially create something even worse.
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem too. Like there's a collective, the shoe's about to drop.
Yeah.
Like we are a very fear-based society, like so much already.
Hmm.
And then with COVID, it really threw us into the what's next
Hmm.
kind of thing. And the lack of trust in our government,
Yeah.
the lack of trust in our world. It really is of that collective, oh my gosh, something bad is going to happen. But yeah, definitely with the full moon thing, like I only work at the school for an hour, but like during the full moon, it's like, peace out. I don't want to be here. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or like on Monday, it wasn't that bad actually, and that also played a role. So I don't know if you know much about the solar eclipse, but technically, there's nothing that makes the sun more dangerous to look at during the
Mhm.
solar eclipse, and
But people
um,
stare at it. That's what makes it more dangerous. People are like,
yes.
"I
Yeah.
want to see it."
And So our like we're pretty off and on cloudy right now, and the school just said like, hey, if you feel like your kid's not going to be able to not look at it during recess or like out the window, like let us know kind of thing. Like we're just going to tell them like it's just a normal sun, we can't look at it, all that. And then 2 days later, we're like, so everyone's going to be staying inside and we'll be having all the blinds shut. And so I'm like,
Hey,
okay, so there's enough parents that complained
yeah,
that their kid couldn't look at the sun or not look at the sun. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad. Like,
it is
one,
sad.
I work there. Now I have to be inside with the kids instead of outside with the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm walking to the school and like we have like metal blinds to close all the windows. So all the metal blinds are like fully pulled down and everything like that. It looks like a prison.
Uh,
And are you could not see the sun if you wanted to. I
oh,
actually took a video of it. I'm like, where would the sun be at this time of day? And we were so overcast. There's no way you could see it whatsoever. But all the blinds were closed and not a kid was allowed outside.
uh.
And and we like you only have a partial eclipse for 45 minutes. Like it's so crazy. And so that day was like definitely chaotic because everyone was inside. But and the day before was the weekend, right?
Mhm.
So not a whole lot happened for me for school. But the Tuesday, it was like I don't even understand what happened. Like it was all hell broke loose. I literally within the first 5 minutes walked up to the vice principal. I'm like, oh my God. And it was insane. Like it was a get me out of here right now. Like scream tantrums, the food
Oh,
across the classroom, like unbelievable stuff with children that doesn't normally happen. So yes, kids definitely feel it. And I think part of it is just they're not so desensitized to it, you
yeah,
know? Like
yeah,
we've taught ourselves to like turn off any of our intuition and any
yeah,
of our senses
yeah,
and just like fuck it all and pay attention to the next deadline and the next
yeah.
achievement and not how our body feels, not how our energy feels, not how the earth feels. And kids haven't been taught how to do that yet.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or they haven't been here long enough to like observe how adults do that enough.
Yeah.
Which good for them. And also, how can we keep that innocence a little bit longer? Because, geez, I mean, at the end of the day, like I keep learning this over and over again, and it keeps being said to me. So I'm like, there's something here. Like looking at like the Bible and Jesus and how he talked about coming to God with the innocence of a child, right? Like everything, if we look at everything through the innocence of a child, how different would our life be?
Yeah.
How, like, the curiosity, the wonder, the, oh my God, I've never seen that before. And when I've had my transcendental experiences in the past, it's literally been because I got myself to such a level of bliss that it turned into this pure innocence. And I remember for one of my experiences that I had, I'm laughing on the beach for hours, okay?
Yeah.
Laughing on the beach like a little girl. And just like any little girl would, laughing so hard that you're like, you ever watched a little girl watch their, like, slap their legs because they're just laughing so hard? That was the kind of laughter coming out of me.
Yeah.
And I just look at my life now and I ask myself, how can I have that innocence, that wonder with everything? Because if I go at my life like that, how much more fun would I have? How much
Mhm.
more joy could I have? How much more excitement could life have?
Yeah.
Um, Instead of all the fear that gets propped up. Like, for example, like talking about how looking at the sun during a solar eclipse isn't more dangerous. But we're implanting in these poor kids the idea that the sun is dangerous during a solar eclipse. Like, that's what that creates, this fear instead of this
Yeah.
curiosity and this wonder and this joy, because all of these parents are like, oh my God, my kid is going to look up at the sun and just going to keep staring at the sun because of this thing that's happening. Now we're literally, as adults, implanting this fear in our children, which is
Yeah.
just, it breaks my heart at the end of the day, because this is
Yeah.
how we grow up to be adults that are fearful, that don't have curiosity, that do as we're told, that just keep living life status quo instead of going, well, what kind of wonder can I create?
Yeah. That alone is a whole conversation. Like,
That's not wrong.
like we gotta wrap it up because I'm like, woo, let's go.
I know. It's true. We could talk about that for hours and hours. Maybe that's what we'll talk
Oh,
about next.
yeah. Yeah, that the whole instilling fears into our children, um, it's so toxic and we have no idea we're doing it.
Yeah, and it's so sad. So, but yeah, like you said, let's wrap up this episode of TMI advice you didn't want. I hope everyone enjoyed everything that we talked about. If you did, go ahead. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and give us a like. Smash that subscribe button. And if you're watching or listening to us on your favorite podcasting host, then go ahead and give us a 5-star. And as always, please let us know what your thoughts were, and if there's anything that you want us to kind of dive into further. So with that, we are going to call TMI Advice You Didn't Want a wrap for today. See everyone later.